So we're on my screen and we're in Cricut Design Space, and as you can see at the top there are my projects that I've been working on, and beneath there you've got all kinds of categories that you could choose from. So if you scroll down you get an idea. We've got Valentine, because Valentine's Day is coming up, which is where I decided to choose what we're going to put on this mug. So you can have a look through all those and see what things you can just load up onto your canvas and begin to work on. So if we go back to the top and click on New Project, and then I'm just going to replace something I've been playing with on my canvas. So this is your blank canvas. This is where you start. So you can see you've got the new button at the top. It's untitled at the moment. My maker's selected, and we've got a blank canvas. So I'm going to choose an image, and as you can see there are lots of images to choose. Okay, so we're going to select an image, and we're going to use one of the images that are built in to Cricut Images, and of course there are 100,000 plus, so we're going to want to bring that down a little bit. So we can either go through occasions, or I think what we'll do is find some nice valentine. Ooh, am I spelling right? Ideas. So that's brought us up close to 3,000 results. I want to just do a cut operation because we're doing some vinyl, cutting some vinyl to go onto a mug. So I just want cut. Okay, so it's reduced our number of results a little bit, and I want things that are going to be quite simple to make, or that I can adapt to make them simpler than they are. Okay, so let's have a look and just see first of all things that we like. And all you need to do as you go through is just click on anything that you like the look of, and it'll save it to the bottom, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's see what grabs me. Oh, there you've got something for my husband. It's quite nice. Put that, as you see, it comes down to the bottom. What else have we got that I quite like the look of? Some simple designs. Wine is my valentine. Be my valentine. Lips. Oh, and that's a free one. Look, I quite like that little fella, or those little lovebirds. We'll keep those. What's that? Is that a fold-up box? It is. It's a heart box. Simple. Another free one. Arrow through the heart. What cuss is? Nope. Means nothing to me. What else have we got? Some doves. Hubba hubba hubby. I think if I gave that to my husband, he'd think I'd lost my marbles. What else have we got? Nice hearts. Be mine. It's quite nice. This is to go on a mug that's used all year, so I'm kinda, don't want to overdo it. Winged heart. Let's see. There's just so much choice if you're not careful. So much choice. We'll give that a go. I'll show you how to make that. Looks like it might be quite complex, but I will show you how to make it less complex. So you've got the hands in the shape of a heart, quite nice. And so lots of lovely symbols here. Now that, I think, could be a little difficult to cut, so I'm going to leave that one alone. So let's just reduce it even further to phrases because there's just so much to see on here. It can be a little. And you can see that's surrounding green, so you can see I've already got that down here. Oh, I heart you. Okay, so I've got 6 selected, so I'll see what I think of those, insert those images, and they'll appear on my canvas. So what you get is lots of layers here for what I've selected, and currently they're all sort of lumped together. So click at the side and just begin to separate them out, and you can resize, see what you think. Little lovebirds, heart. It looks odd. Doesn't look quite right to me, that one. Okay. No, that would annoy me because it's not. I mean, we can always turn it, but no, that would annoy me. That one's gone. Right, so I like our little lovebirds. I think they're quite cute. Now this, I just wanted to show you how some things can appear to be quite simple, but they're not. Now, here you can see that there are 2 layers to that. And what I mean by that is 1 layer, 2 layer. So if I ungroup that, what you get is that and that. So those would cut out separately, and we're using vinyl. And because we've got little things like this, that could be a little difficult to cut, and then you have to marry them back up onto your finished article. Not really difficult, but we're starting from scratch, so I'm going to ignore that one. This one, you could say, is even worse. We've got 4 layers. So again, I'm going to ungroup it. If you highlight it, you can move out that. Highlight the back there, highlight that, so you can see the layers. Now on its own, I think that is quite nice. The little bits between the B could be a bit of a problem in weeding, but I think we'll give it a go. So I'm down to a selection that I quite like the look of. Now I'm planning to use some black vinyl, if you remember, see how that looks in black. And the size of that is quite good, because one of the things I've got is it's just a coffee cup and it isn't very big. That's going to be perfect on there. The heart's quite good, but I think I prefer the lovebirds. So you're gone. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to do that in some nice red hearts for Valentine's, and our little lovebirds. And again, they're going to be on one side of the mug with this on the other. So as I mentioned, the mug is quite small, so you also need to be down quite small. And one of the things to check is that it still looks okay. Now if you notice, just to take you back, we've got the lock in the corner here, and at the top the lock and the measurements. If I unlock that, what I can do is change it and the dimensions change. Now you might quite like that, but I think it loses something. So put that back on lock and resize it so it stays in proportion to 2.25 and hit enter. And yeah, I think that's going to work pretty well on my little mug. Yep, that's going to work pretty well. And this one needs to be change it a little bit, 3. Okay, right, so I've got my designs, and as you can see, 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer. Now what I'll do is just show you, if we were to just go to make it now, and it's sorting into mats, so it's put all black onto one mat, red onto another, which is fine. But if I had a piece of vinyl, and to try and cut down on waste, because you know materials get expensive if you're not careful, and if you waste too much of it, if I had a piece that was, you know, 4 by 4, I would want those on top of each other, because as it is I need a piece that's like 6 by 2. So if by some chance that's what you wanted, hit cancel, select these two, and if we attach them, so they're not a group but they're attached, and then go to make it, those are now where we want them on the mat to match the piece of vinyl we have available. And this one, we need something a little over now for some reason this has just gone to cancel, and I don't know why it's done. Switch on. Okay, so what we're going to do is press make it. Sorry, that's my Cricut making a noise in the background. So I'm going to attach a piece of vinyl, 4 by 3, and cancel. I don't know why, so what I'll do is save this. Valentine mugs, and save. Okay, right, hit make it. I'm happy with that. Continue, and it's now trying to find my maker, connect to my machine. If you go into browse all materials and choose vinyl, and we're using permanent premium vinyl, so that's that one. Click done, and I'm going to set it to more on the pressure of the blade, because I want to be sure that some of these tiny parts of these designs cut out first time. So it's telling me I don't need any tool in clamp A, but I need my fine point blade in clamp B, and I'm ready to load the mat. So I'm going to be using the standard grip mat, so just remove the cover and keep that somewhere safe. I'll be using my roller cutter and brayer. So attach your vinyl. I'm going to start with the order that's on Design Space, so it's going to be black vinyl first. And this roller cutter is really great for just trimming off the amount of vinyl you want, and just remove the rest. Now the brayer just attaches that nicely, and I think I need a piece just a little over 3 inches wide, so I'll just trim that down again and remove the excess. Now what I tend to do is keep these little pieces down inside the rest of the vinyl, or you forget what vinyl's iron-on, what's permanent vinyl, what's non-stick, you name it, and over to the maker. So the load mat button's flashing, so put the mat into the guides and press the arrow, and then once the Cricut sign, the start little button starts to flash, there you go, and you start cutting. Right, we've finished cutting, but for some reason it's just gone into a bit of a loop. So I'm not sure what that's all about. So what I'm going to do, because it's not got my finish button, normally you get a button down here that says finish, and then you can finish up and everything's good. But seeing as we have made everything, these things are, so what I'm going to do is just go home. Are you sure you want to cancel the cut? Yes, because we've done the cut, so it's not going to do any damage. There we go, and our project's saved, so I'm happy with that. So we can finish with our Cricut Design Space for now. Okay, it's time to do the weeding, so I'll just trim that down so there's no wastage on there. So I'll press the safety button on my rotary cutter and move that over there. We don't need our brayer anymore. But what I will do is start with our lovebirds and our I heart you. Separate those out. Okay, so our lovebirds. Okay, take your weeding tool. Now, weeding, I'm told, is a love-hate thing. Lots of people hate it. I happen to find it really satisfying, therapeutic. I really do enjoy it. So there we go. This is coming up pretty well. Try again. And this is where I find the Cricut totally amazing. So one second, I'll just get the middle out of that one. Put that in there. And take out the eyes, which are just in the centre there. Those in there. Make sure they come away, or they'll have strange parts to your design. Now, about the Cricut being brilliant at cutting, I hope you can see that there are tiny little legs on those lovebirds. Brilliant. That's one we did. Move that out of the way. So it's our I heart you. We'll just have a start at the outside again. Start to pull out gently. So we're going to have to go back and get some of these pieces out. That's okay. So what's coming out here is the middle of this eye. See that? And at the top. The middle of the heart comes out. Like that. Middle of the U. And the side with the eye. Just get the middle of that letter out. There we go. Yep. And then there's a little piece, well, a couple of little pieces here. And in a future video, I'll show you how to, things like this that can be really tricky to weed out, how to take them out of the design altogether. using something called contour. So I will show you that. Note to self to show you that in the next video. Okay. There we go. And the cut lines I can just see so that I can see which bits need to come out. Sometimes you need to refer back to the original picture so that you know you're taking out the right parts. Okay, one more. But what you learn from doing this, using other people's designs, is when you start to do your own, how to make sure they come out perfect. So that's quite nice, I like that. Now, be mine. Right, the next thing we need is our transfer tape. And this is reusable, which is great because so little of what we do in our Cricut uses reusable fabric. Now that's got all glitter on it, so I'm not going to use that. So let's see what we've got. So I've got some pieces that have clearly been used before. So what I'll do is get my mug. These are my mugs. Now, I'm thinking Be Mine will be on this mug, which has a cute little dog on the inside, where this will have I love you and the part that you, if you're right-handed, pick up, and my love birds on the other. So what we'll do is get our transfer tape. So remove this from the backing, but keep the backing. We'll take our love birds, and what we do is lay the transfer tape over the top. Now this is where this tool comes in really useful, and I'll try and hold the camera still while I do it, but there may be a bit of vibration on it. Is just run that across the top of your design, because what you want is the vinyl to sit on the transfer tape. So to see if that's worked, we just try and keep my hands out there so you can see it. Pull it, and what you want is to not have any of the black on there. So use this tool to make sure that everything is on the transfer tape and not on the body. There, so that's come away clean. That can be thrown away. And our design is now on our transfer tape. So what I'm going to do with that is get my cup, and I'm just going to make sure there's no grease on that surface. And to do that, I'm using some rubbing alcohol. So let's just move my design out of the way. print-free cloth just to wrap around it, and in fact, because I'm going to put a design on the other side, we'll do the whole of the mug. Okay, so there's our mug and our design. So what we want to do is position this as we want it. Now, these to be level. And because I didn't put this straight on, the lines would have told me, but I didn't put the design straight onto there. So let's see how that is. At the end of the world, did they? A little crooked. Well, we just show what we're doing. So again, use our spreader to attach that firmly to the mug, and then we should be able to just peel off our transfer tape, leaving our design in place. Just put the transfer tape back on the backing and just make sure everything is firmly down. Use your spreader if you need to. That, a little crooked, but, and we'll repeat the process of the design for the other side. I love you on one side, so when I pick that up I can see that, and little lovebirds on the other. And this will stay for quite some time. I know it'll survive many washes and rinses and uses, so that's one. Now, the thing about this mug, the other one, nice straight flat sides, so easy to put the design onto. This one doesn't. This one has a bit of a curve to it. So what I'm going to do is put my transfer tape on to my design. This piece of transfer tape will not be able to be used again, and the reason for that is the shape of the mug we're putting the design onto. Because it tapers down, you can see the way it curves. If I want the design to sit on there level, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cutting to make that happen. So I'll show you what I mean. Remove our vinyl backing. Now, as I put that on there, it might go into some folds, and that's because of the tape. So what I'm going to do is get my scissors. I'm just going to put a couple of cuts in that should help. Now, I'm not cutting the design, I'm just cutting the transfer tape, which of course means that this piece of transfer tape can't be used again. It's to help me fold this around the mug. So let's see if it works. So we want to be reasonably lined up, put the middle down, and then spread it out, and again the other way. So by having cut that transfer tape, it's made that a little easier. So let's make sure. Couple of little bubbles so I'll just use a fingernail to put those down. And we have our mugs. And I think those are quite sweet. Our little lovebirds. A simple project just to get the hang of cutting vinyl and applying it to a mug.